Welcome back to the Manor. Julian McBain here, and we are back with Personal Finance for Gamers. So today what we're going to talk about is your top line, your income, the money you bring in that sets the tone for all of your other finances. It's arguably the most important part of your budget. There's an argument for it being the bottom line. There's a big argument for being the top line. We're going to go through the arguments for top line today. As always, we've got Entropia Universe running in the background. Why? Because it is a real cash economy platform where everything in the game actually is worth real money, and therefore it's pertinent because the techniques that you use in real life can be applied to the platform, and more importantly, you can practice them on the platform to apply them to real life. Okay, so we're going to talk top line, but before we get started, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Manor. Please take a moment and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. Also, please consider going to patreon.com/JulianMcBain if you want to support my work. If you do, you'll get exclusive content. I produce an extra video every month just for being patrons, and then there will be more exclusive content related to this particular type of content, personal finance, produced every month as well. So, let's get started. Your top line, your income. This is how everything else is fueled. In the car that is your life, your income is the fuel. This is how you get things done. This is why it's the most important part of your budget, not the bottom line. True, the bottom line is the next most important, and there's a good argument for saying it is the most important, because if, your expenses are higher than your income, then you're below zero, you're going to end up dying. And that doesn't necessarily mean a literal death. It could be it's a financial death, though. You can't get anywhere like that. However, the top line's the easiest one to fix. Why? Because at the end of the day, you can always get a second job. And no one wants to hear that, but you need to hear it. If your top line is not big enough to fuel your bottom line, get another job. Don't make excuses. Find a way. Have a side hustle. Do something else to earn money. And it doesn't have to be permanent. It doesn't even have to be long term. You work a few weekends during the holidays getting extra cash in to make sure you can get Christmas gifts for your kids. Okay? You spend a little more time at work a little overtime. Maybe you take on a cashiering job at the local C-store for a couple of months to get that bill paid off. Doesn't matter. If you're so far down that the bottom line is below your top line, you need to take on a way of getting more income. The fastest way to do that is a second job. We're going to talk about other methodologies for creating streams of income into your household that will eliminate the need for a second job and may even theoretically eliminate the need for a first job. However, if you're in a position where you can't even make ends meet, you're going to have to bite the bullet. And it sucks. It really does. Been there, done that. I understand. But sometimes that's what needs to be done. So just be prepared if you're in that position that might be what you have to do. Or you might have to volunteer to do every little ounce of overtime that your boss offers. And that could mean weeks of 12-hour days. Sometimes that's the way it works. If you're on commission, you're going to have to keep knocking on doors and making more sales. If you're on commission, it's actually easier because you can always just do more activity. Instead of working 8-hour days, you work 12-hour days. You knock on 10 more doors to get one more good sale in. Get one more commission. Either way, if you're that far down, and many of us have been there. Okay? Been there. If you're that far down, you gotta bite the bullet. And I'm not saying it doesn't suck. It's going to suck. This is one of those cases you gotta embrace the suck. Grind that shit out and get yourself so that you don't need it anymore. Your top line represents all of your sources of income. It doesn't matter what the source of income is. The source of income could be your job, your second job, your side hustle, if you own properties, your rental income, your investments, your retirements, if you're drawing off retirements, if you're retired, Social Security, which is not going to exist much longer in all likelihood. All of these different streams of income coming in all affect your top line. Some examples. I'm going to take it from a typical YouTuber, and we're going to assume for the purpose of this scenario, the YouTuber is monetized, so they get Google AdSense and they have a Patreon or a Locals or something of that nature. Okay? Okay. So you're ABC YouTuber. You have a regular job 9 to 5, pulls in 40 grand. Respectable. You have your YouTube channel, it pulls in an extra $1,000 a month. Respectable. You have your Patreon, that's another $500 a month. You have 3 streams of income. If you have investments, they produce dividends. That's a 4th stream of income. Perhaps you have staked crypto, the interest off of that, the yield off of that. That's another form of income. That's 5 streams of income. If you have a different side hustle, maybe you build, maybe you make cutting boards, which I've recently discovered my teenager has a talent for doing. I might try to convince him to find out what equipment we need so he can monetize that, because he's damn good at it at 13. Holy shit. That's a stream of income. These are all different streams of income. They all affect your top line. The more streams of income you have, the less catastrophic it is when one of them drops out, because from time to time, one of them is going to not be enough to be for the work you've put in. Sometimes it's just because that's the way the market works. Sometimes it's because your job, maybe the company you work for closes. Maybe you get laid off. Maybe you screw something up and get fired. Maybe the investment that you invested in, the stock or the bond or whatever, crashes. The company goes under. Maybe your YouTube channel stops producing. Maybe your patrons all leave. Maybe your locals community decides to ditch you. Any of those reasons could be a reason that a stream of income stops. The goal in having multiple streams of income is to bulwark yourself against one of those streams failing. Single stream income people, you're living by the edge. You're living by the wire. Now, does that mean that all your streams of income, any one stream of income can sustain your life? No. Currently, I have 9 to 5, Patreon, EU, long game, crypto, stocks. 6 streams of income. The only one that has any appreciable value at the moment is my regular 9 to 5 job. It's the only thing that can pay my bills. Everything else, it's dollars. A few dollars here, a few dollars there. And I'm not saying this to be unappreciative of the people who pay attention to my channel. I'm not saying this to be unappreciative of my patrons. I can't live off my patrons. I haven't earned that right yet. I haven't earned the right to monetize my YouTube channel. But they're all streams of income. They add to the top line, even if it's just a little bit. All of those matter, because as soon as you have a stream of income that works, growing it becomes easier. And the more it grows, the faster it grows. That's the point of what that is. So, okay. What is a good way to set up your streams of income? Start with your primary job. How can you best build your primary job to be the best stream of income it can be? Learn your role. Make it a goal to be the best person at your role. That will get you bigger salary. Okay. What do you do with that salary? Well, that's going to pay your bills. What do you do with the extra? Well, you're going to put that into other vehicles that generate streams of income. See how that works? And we're going to get into more of this for the pay yourself first set. But keep in mind, it's all intertwines. This all intertwines. You put money aside, it should be flowing money back to you. This is why just raw cash savings should not be your primary form of setting money aside. You need to have it. I'm not saying don't have cash available. Having cash available is important. What I am saying is you should not think that putting money under your mattress is the way to save money. It's not. Because it doesn't do you any good and it's going to get inflated out of existence. As we have seen in this last, 6 months? US dollars dropped like a friggin' stone. Buying power is down. The only way to bulwark against that is to understand how the market works and how to make your income go up. So, work on your cash flows by developing streams of income. And as we go through other bits of personal finance, we're going to talk about what those streams of income are. And how you can personally develop them. Some of them require bigger outlay, some of them don't. We're going to talk about a couple of my favorites right now. I am not sponsored by any of these organizations. I am not endorsing them. These are just the ones that I use. So maybe that would be classified as an endorsement, but I'm not saying that it's necessarily correct for you. But this methodology is how I've been increasing my top line. So, the pay yourself first method. We're going to get into pay yourself first and different ways to do that in a different video, but we're going to have to touch on it here because it's the only way it would make sense. Pay yourself first. You get your paycheck, you set aside a little money for your own growth. Okay? $10 to $25 in a cash savings, at least until you have $1,000 set aside. $10 a month goes into, maybe into a stash or into a Robinhood. And if you are just starting out, blue chips are, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not providing financial advice. Blue chips are safer. They're generally income producing. Talk to a financial advisor if you really want to dig into what it is you want to do for yourself. They're going to have different advice. If you're doing it strictly for growing your top line, then look at income generators, not necessarily for capital gains growth. We're going to have a whole segment on investments and capital gains versus income versus high risk versus low risk. We're going to get into all of that later, but just for your edification, for this particular goal, the goal is to grow your top line, income generators, whether they're fixeds or they're blue chips or whatever. Okay? This is specific to that particular goal. Doesn't mean that's what your goal needs to be. It means that for this goal, that's what you want to do. I'm saying that so that FINRA doesn't lose its shit on me. Other options. If you have the money to lay aside for it, rental income. Fastest way you can grow your income is to buy a door. Buy a door and rent it out to someone. It's also the fastest way to lose all your money too, by the way, because it doesn't take long for some asshole to go through, destroy the home that you bought, and they don't have insurance. By the way, if you have rental properties, require your lessees to have, or your lessors to have, renter's insurance. I'm going to get into insurance in a whole different section of this, but seriously, that's your best bulwark against them screwing you over. So, this is pulling all the money into income. You pay yourself first. You put that money into things that generate that additional revenue. Long Game. I use Long Game for my cash savings because what it is an app. Again, I am not sponsored by Long Game. That would be cool though. You put the money into an affiliated bank with Long Game. It generates in-game tokens. They don't cost you anything. You also earn interest on the savings account that you link to it. And then you can play games. It's like gambling, but using fake money. And those games can earn you crypto or cash. Or more coins. And that's it. I probably earn a quarter every month off of it. 25 cents. Still a stream of income. And it means that the money I've got in there is doing something. And the cash is liquid. I can move it back to my regular bank account. Or I've got a debit card for that account. I can just spend it. So it doesn't have to be that stream of income is huge. The way I use it is put the cash in to earn the tokens, the coins, which are not money coins, but in-game coins. Play the games for crypto. Crypto goes into the crypto group. It's generally Ethereum is the most commonly earned thing. Trade the Ethereum for Algorand. Algorand earns a 4% APY. You're not losing. There's no loss to be had there, and your money's doing more than it otherwise would. Now, of course, you can have more aggressive yields off of, like, buying a stock that produces a dividend. I'm invested in a couple of blue chips. I've got a couple of high risks. I was one of the apes. To a certain extent, I still am one of the apes. So I've got some GameStop. I've got some... I actually sold my AMC, which may have been a mistake, but I sold it when it was up by, like, double, so I made my money. And these are not stock investment recommendations. I'm just telling you that I was one of the apes, full disclosure. And REITs, real estate investment trusts. Again, we'll get into that in investments, but those are income producers. They produce dividends. They increase the top line. Are they producing a huge amount for me right now? No. But I've only been doing it for a year. At $25 a month? Is it that? It's like it's a week. $20 to $25 a week. And it started out as $5 a month. So you develop the stream. That's my methodology. That's what I do. What do you want to do? That's up to you. What risks are you willing to take? How much money can you afford to set aside to start growing these other streams of income? That's really what Pay Yourself First is about. And again, we're going to get into all kinds of strategies in the Pay Yourself First video. If you are watching this on a replay, maybe a year from now when it came out, you'll be able to find that video in this playlist. In fact, it should be the next one. But your top line is the most important part of your finances because that's how you fuel everything else. Never lose sight of your bottom line because you get absorbed in all of the minuses of your expenses. You can always add more top line. It may hurt, might take time, may be a pain in the ass, but you can always add to your top line. You can always earn more money. You can always find a way. So, okay, that's all I've got for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. And as always, I really appreciate the support. And we should be talking about paying yourself first and different savings methodologies in the next video.